What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new Lego Fortnite video, and today we're back with part 4 of our survival series here on the channel. And today's episode, we're going to be doing some really cool things, which is extending our starter base. Now, in the last 2 episodes, we did some cool little stuff. We went to Juggle Island for a bit, helped out Lloyd, we found Zane, we helped Zane out. And today's episode, we're going to be extending the base that we started working on in episode 1. We haven't done much since. I've been meaning to, don't worry. But what we're going to be doing is we're transforming my whole entire starter base into this whole, like, gaming, like, wonderland, if that makes any sense to the word. So I'm just going to kind of scout out some things to get some ideas. And as we're going to start off, I do have stone. How much granite do I have in my inventory? I actually have enough for what I want to do. So we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves the Almighty Friendly Neighborhood Gallery, and we're just going to start building. This episode is going to be very different from what I normally do, as it's actually going to be a mixture of both survival and creative. I know, so I can show you guys like the design process on my builds, which honestly is very exciting to me personally. But yeah, we're going to be using these pieces here, and we're going to build out this little platform for ourselves that goes out to about, let's say, to here maybe? I think that will work. So, okay, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to slowly start raising the platform by a bit. And this is just more like a design thing for me personally. So we're going to grab the right flooring. We're going to raise this up by 1. And I believe I'm going to raise it up by 1 more. And that should be good, right? Right? Yeah, that's good. That is perfect. So what I'm also going to do, since we're actually working on this right now, is I can go ahead and most likely just move stuff around, or at least start planning things out to a point that we can actually just get everything working properly. I know proper English is is a good specialty here on this channel. But we're going to move the village square for a minute. I know, the villagers are going to start tweaking because they realize, oh no, they're not in the village anymore. But don't you dare worry, we're going to place this bad boy back where it is. I know, this is the top tier commentary that you expect from the channel. Don't expect anything more or less from this. Oh god, you gotta be adoring this. Okay, so I'm kind of explaining some of my plans as we go. I have some ideas in the back of my mind as I do this, but this is a rough start. Now, the thing I was originally intending on doing is putting a giant toad statue in the middle here. I don't know how well that would look, so instead I'm thinking about adding the toad statue somewhere else, so the village like square thing can still be here. But we also need to design something for this eventually, so I don't know what would be the best way to do that. Or maybe we can put this inside of Toad, which I don't know if that would work at all. Knowing my logic, it probably wouldn't, because normally it does not really like having builds like be around it or like in certain proximity of this thing. Yeah. Okay, like see that? It does not like, yeah, it has like this little gap right there, so that would not really work with us. So because we can't really do that, my next idea is maybe we can add like a warp tunnel or something else around those lines, or like in this kind of proximity. But then again, I do not know much of what we can work with. So for now, we're actually going to go over to editing, Chris, so we can give you guys an idea of the layout that we'll be working on. So, send it off to future me!
Alright, so jumping straight into things, I'm doing something that I've not really done before, as, well, let me just explain here. As when I typically design builds, I have both references, which is constant art, and a lot of times I even free flow it, but for our case, we're actually using a technique which can be really useful in art, especially when you're going for a specific design or style, and you don't want to tab up 2 other tabs. But for our case here, just help visualize what I'm talking about, as a bunch of different reference images here to showcase the different areas and different locations that I'm thinking about for this base, as I do have a layout that I think is really cool that I want to show you guys. So with that all being said, let's just jump right into one of the few things that I want to talk about here. As when I first started the video, I did mention I want the base to look like gaming paradise, and I just scratched a few more so of things I like, and so because of that, I'm getting rid of that maybe for Batman, as I have a cool idea for what I'm doing with the whole Batman little area. And first off, when I first started designing the build, I want to make this green hill zone type area. I don't know why, it's more for aesthetics things. I'm a huge Sonic fan. But the main issue with this is going to be a huge challenge when it comes to this build, as when I'm like making green hill zones, I always have the iconic dark and light green screeches, and since we don't really have much green colors inside Lego Fortnite, it's going to be a bit of a difficult like way to like kind of do that. But I do have an idea in the back of my head. It's going to look a bit weird, but I think it'll work out really well in the end and be a fun challenge. And speaking of challenges, the next thing I really want to add, which kind of correlates to our Batman thing here, is one of my favorite things to do inside sandbox games is go back to previous builds of mine and upgrade them and reimagine them. And I'm thinking about me making an old like Ace Chemicals build I made a few years ago inside of Lego Fortnite. I made the build inside of Minecraft, but I think it'd be fun to recreate it inside this game mode because honestly that'd be just a fun challenge because I really love the design. And the reason I'm making Ace Chemicals actually is for like pouring all my crafting tables, storage, potions. I think it'd be a good place to put all that. And another good thing for storage actually correlates with our good old friend, the screenshot from the Mysteries of Lego Fortnite video, Fnaf rolled Freddy on my head. Don't ask questions, which is adding a lovely Freddy Fazbear location right here with a lovely boat dock in the back. The boat dock itself is more aesthetic, so you can even add like an old man's consequences Easter egg if you want to. But I'm just sucker for adding little angle details like this, and I think it'd be a perfect place to add it. But FNAF is going to be a really good area to add all of our chests in, so I don't have to do the cool thing when I do in Survival series where I have chests going all over the place and it confuses the heck me when I'm looking for stuff, so I go boom, 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 boom. It kind of optimizes the whole chest monster situation, if you want to call it that. And the next thing I do want to talk about, and I think it's more for aesthetics more than anything, but also helps our villagers, is I really want to add some Minecraft villager houses around the base. I think it would look absolutely amazing, it'd be wonderful, it'd be a nice little addition to make everything feel more alive. And next thing I do want to talk about is I saw this little island when I was looking at the designing the whole video here, and I thought it'd be a perfect place to originally add a callback to natural disasters on Roblox, the whole game where you're trying to survive different events. But I thought it'd be funnier if you had like a Final Destination battleground with the toast statue that I mentioned at the start of the video fighting Kevin the Cube. Don't ask questions, I just think this would be generally really funny, and because of that idea, I'm actually going to commit to the bit, and I think it'd be just a fun little aesthetic thing where you just look up and you see just Kevin the Cube fighting a toad statue for some reason. And this kind of leads us to the last thing I do want to add, as over here we do have our bus station by this weird rock formation, and what I'm thinking about doing is I'm really wanting to add a festival stage over here, which would be really useful for me personally off camera, as I like having jam loops going on, and I like having a little jukebox playing if I'm waiting for something to craft, probably over here. And it's more for something that'd be really useful for me when I'm just messing around off camera. But I'll really also move the bus station on top of the stage, so it's an easier way for us to get up and down, and just makes the base feel more alive, if you know what I mean. And overall, I'm just gonna have everything kind of connect real quick so I can give you guys a visualization of the idea. And we could even add more villager houses from the stage. But so far, this is kind of the idea that I'm going for here. And of course, we're going to have a pathway going through the villager houses when we make it connecting to Ace. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole base layout here. And I just want to say I absolutely love it. I think there's so many cool things going on here. And I'm really excited to get this done. But before we can actually start working on the base, we have to go working on how in the world we're going to easily move the bus station.
Whoa! Now that we're back here at the base, I gotta see what I meant by making everything look much bigger than what it seems. But as I mentioned, we need a way to move the bus station, as typically we can just use explosives, but I do not really want to use that technique. And we're gonna start crafting a few things. First things first, we got ourselves the gym cutter, and then I want to move towards getting ourselves a metal smelter, which is really, really simple. And the reason why we're going this bad boy is I'm hoping that we already have what I'm looking for, which is iron. So we can create ourselves some metal and iron bars. And that is relatively useful for many reasons. One being, well, we don't have iron. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? That really sucks. I guess we need to go on a little journey then to find ourselves some iron. Oh no, never mind, we do have iron. Good, good. I was about to be afraid for a minute. Me not realizing that we already have what I'm looking for. Peely? Buddy, I just realized we already had this, so, let's just grab what we need, which is the iron bars. Now, the reason why we need iron bars is for that there, the grand chest. As a fun thing about Lego Fortnite progression is there's two ways that you can unlock stuff. And the way we do that is by unlocking the chest. So if you want a good way, an easy, simple way to unlock these almighty resources very quickly, and more specifically the rare weapons, then just go ahead and get this. Know the recipe, you can just easily go ahead and craft this, and I'll show you what I mean right about now if we go all the way this way and go back to the main island, as I bet I'm making a lot of sense right now to all of you guys. Trust me, this all makes sense in a minute. Okay, there's a cave. This will be our lucky break. Watch. If I find nothing, just cut back to this. Okay, I'm gonna grab my friggin' like axe for this. Because I do need slurp mushrooms for me doing later. Give me some yum yum tum tum. Perfect. Okay, where are the chests? Okay, just one over there. So far, no skellies. So far, no loot. So far, yum yum tum tum. Gimme. You see nothing. I need that brightstone, sir. I need it for my own contractual reasons that I shall not talk about. So gimme. And I will also be removing that so I can get my milk back, please. I need my vitamin D! I'm just perfect, man. Okay, there might be something up here. No. I'm starting to believe they might have nerfed it. Nope, 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 no, 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 actually, no, no, I'm right on the bullet. Man, let me tell you about the— get out of here! There's people fighting me! Oh my god, there's so much skeletons. Let me tell you about my new program called You're Dead, and You're Dead. And don't forget about you! I'm just gonna say, after we're done here, like, we're up for some really cool shenanigans. I just never chest. Nothing. Am I better off dead? Am I better off a quitter? Let's say I'm better off now than I ever was with her. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! The one from Jordan. The Muffin Man! Okay, we found the axe. We found the axe of truth. Get out of here. That means we need to keep looking, as our pickaxe is definitely nearby. Trust. Alright. The cave provided, and the cave yielded. Onwards to cave 2, then. Guys, I was wondering if you knew, like, where any good place I can rob is. Oh. That might be something. He went home. I see no one. There's Ruby. We could grab the Ruby and put it at the base, and we can just, like, I don't know, in this whole section of the video, scratch what I just said. You see, when you're building a Lego Fortnite, you'll eventually find what you need, as it does provide. Now we can head back to base, and not question why this guy's doing a Blair Witch. Oh, like, man, dude, we need to get out of here! Alright, so I'm heading back to base, and it's gonna take me a minute to do this, because I need to teleport to the Ninjago Island and then back to the main base. But as I'm doing all of this, and getting everything just ready to go and go into resource gathering, I'm going to go send it off to Future Chris, as he just designs everything, showcases some of the ideas I'm planning before we jump to this massive time-lapse of me building the whole structure. Pretty awesome stuff. So, I guess with that being said, let's just jump right in. Alright, so we're here at the Pokécenter, where I'm actually currently making the tips and tricks video. It should be out here in a week or a few days after this video. Probably in a week, actually, when this video comes out, as I'm trying to get this video out this week, and I think it can be done. I'm gonna grind, but hey, it's gonna be fun for me personally. But what we're gonna be doing now is we're actually gonna be designing the actual layout of the build. Which, the first one is gonna be kind of simple, so I'm not gonna go too much into it, is Fnaf, which I can just... If you watch my channel at all, if you're a viewer at all, you probably know, like, we use the Durburger floor, and then we go over here, it's using, like, let's go down to, like, the doors. You already know, if you're a freaking fan of the channel, what I'm doing here. We grab this door, and then we grab the freaking friendly neighborhood walls. and then for the, like, edges we use, okay, that is not how it's supposed to go. But then for the edges we use, like, the lovely pieces from, where is the Fortnite Festival gallery, with this piece right over here for a little, like, indent. So we go, like, 1, 2, and then it's like goes out to, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that on both sides. If you know, if you watch the channel, you know how this is designed. So I don't need to go too much into that. However, the thing I do want to go a bit more into is, well, Green Hill Zone, as I'm very much more curious about that build, and it's gonna be the more of the fun thing that I would be designing for this video. As we do have brown pieces, it's just yeah, it's gonna be fun. Maybe we could use this. Okay, I've not messed around with the Ninjago Island stuff too much, but I do really like that dark oak wall, and I don't know if I want to use this as the half wall, but since I'm not really using half walls, I could. Okay, hear me out here. So we can use and spread this out with, I believe, isn't it? Okay, what's a good orange wall that we can use? Because there's a few of them. There's a few that I think would be really useful for this. The one that's coming out to my mind is definitely Pleasant Park, but it's just, yeah, Pleasant Park is probably the one that's gonna work. If there wasn't these edges on the Pirates Gallery, then I think that would also work. So yeah, I think we're gonna be using for the main outline of this is definitely Pleasant Park, and then we just go back to Ninjago Island with this. So my idea now is we can just use something like this, and then we can go, let's say like that. It's a bit scuffed, and I must say that. However, if we go all the way down here, we could do something like this, and then, no, not like that. God, that is not how it's supposed to look. Like that. And then like that, and then we have the wall like this, which I know is a bit of a different shade, but it will work very well for what we're doing with this. So something like this would work a lot. Let me just see. Yeah, I think that's probably the best of what we're going to do. We could just do half walls all the way and not have like these large walls. So like something like this, maybe. If you, like, I was just like slight, not really exactly design, I think that's probably way better. Now, the second thing that's going to be the main issue with this build, as I mentioned earlier, is definitely the greens. And the greens are going to be what I'm dreading right now, as there's only a few greens that we do have in Lego Fortnite, and what I'm currently brainstorming in my mind, and I'm hoping this does work, I have yet to test this, is I'm thinking about using the Haunted Gallery, which I believe, I am going all over the place here, is right here, and what we could do is we could use one of these walls here, and this is going to look a bit weird. Okay, positioning like planes here. Will this work? No. Oh god, no, it won't. Yeah, it will not work at all unless we have like something. That sucks. So instead, I think we're just gonna go with the one green color of the almighty gallery, floor gallery inside of the Supernova Academy set. If you know what I'm talking about, it has like these floors here, which, yeah, are going to be painful to place down, but I think since it's such a small area, it's not going to really matter that much. And if we want to, we can also use a thruster trick to just add a little more pizzazz to like cover up this thing here. So I'm going to try that real quick, see if that looks anything like interesting at least. Like maybe that. Wait. Like that? From the side, you can't really see anything. And we also can do is add like these little... Yeah, okay, we figured it out, boys. We figured it out. It's way more simple than I thought it was. And it's gonna be more like a Minecraft structure, which will work well with the like little tiny villager houses, which we're gonna be designing. I overthought this a lot. This is what happens a lot of builds, where I just like overthink things, and then I'm like, oh wait, there's an easy solution for this, and we just found it. Okay, that's gonna work well. I can't really do the dark and light green streaks, but it's Green Hill Zone. That works. So for this brief little segment of the video, I think we're pretty good to get ready to just jump into the time lapse. So yeah, like overall, like I think this is a good start. I'm really excited, and yeah, let's just jump right in. just like that, the time lapse is over, and oh my god, this took way too extremely long. And I do mean that, as I spent the last 2 days building, and it's currently midnight for me. So you guys will be seeing the video later today, after I wake up and decide to edit. But overall, I'm very happy with how everything turned out, and I thought it'd be fun to end out the video with a fun little tour of the starter base, just to showcase everything that I've done. First things first is I made a few changes from the concept stage, which is Toad. Toad's the most obvious thing, as I did mention originally I wanted to use this mountain as like a giant smash stage, and I kind of decided against that, as I feel like it might be funnier down the line to add like a little statue as like a new idea, or just maybe they use the rock for something else, as much as a smash stage would be cool. I don't really want to do it. I don't know, I feel like it might be a bit weird for now, unless it's like floating in the sky, which with how Lego Fortnite works in gravity, I realized that might be like a bit difficult to do. So I altered for this route, which is the old boat dock being placed not really behind Freddy's anymore. It technically still is if you count this part here. But what we got going on here is I'm actually going to do a bit of like Lego terraforming to create this mountain, and I decided to move the like whole boat dock as like the entrance. And oh my god, it created one of my favorite views ever. This was totally unintentional, by the way, but like you have this whole scenic route where you have like the Pokécenter, Freddy's, the Green Hill Zone, and you have Toad! We all love Toad! Macaroni! And god, it's just beautiful. You can even see like the festival stage in the background, which oh my god, it's just amazing. You got the bus station right here, so if you want to, you just like go all the way down here. So when I'm trying to go somewhere, I can just fully appreciate all the details, and oh my god, I just like how this whole thing looks. It's very simple, utilizing a lot of the Enjoy pieces, but man, it just embraced Toad supremacy, man. This whole thing is just beautiful, incredible, if you ask me. Now, going upstairs here, this is all very much a work in progress. I'll be definitely working on this in the future. But going this way, you can find yourself the festival stage, which is very inspired by the design you'll be seeing in the next episode of Lego City Revamped. Which, speaking of Lego City Revamped, if you guys did enjoy this video, definitely let me know down in the comments below, as this video is very experimental for me, as this is like an idea for a new like format for Lego City videos, which I'm very interested in, trying to push myself to try something new. And overall, I'm really liking how this is turning out so far, as it gives you guys more of an insight how I create things. And overall, I am very happy with the stage. As I mentioned before, it's more so for me when I'm waiting for something to craft, or am I just like doing stuff off camera and I want to listen to my copyrighted music that I can't play in videos and just hang out. As you see, I got my jukebox, as I mentioned before, and you got some cooler stuff going on here. And actually, a funny little detail, I do want to bring this up here. This is something I did find out, is I did scrap another idea besides Smash Stage for now. I'm putting it on hold, which is the Minecraft houses, which I did design earlier in the video. But I decided to just scrap it for now, as I want to do something different. I do want to put something like right here, as I feel like something is needed. I just don't know what it is, and I don't think a Minecraft villager house is that like exactly what I want there. But what I decided to do instead of that for now is I put the villager beds on the rafters, which you can't see at all, which is perfect. Yeah, it's right there. They're like the Muppets. You cannot see it unless you're trying to look at it specifically. And oh my god, I might just keep it there. Like, if I add a new villager to the base, I would just add that and just have like a random house or something else. Oh my god. Dude, I'm just getting ideas, because I just think this is absolutely funny. But overall, like, I really like how the stage came out. It was definitely like a small little design. It took me like about an hour to make. Around an hour, a bit more. And it was like one of the last things I made besides the boat dock over there. Which kind of leads us to the next thing I want to talk about, which is Green Hill Zone. Oh my god, this thing took so freaking long. I don't even talk about it. So let's talk about it. So Green Hill Zone was the first thing I started working on for this video, and took me over 4 hours. Remember when I said I was overthinking this thing? Yeah. The build itself, pretty simple. However, there's some fun little issues which you might have saw in the time-lapse. Naming first is relating to how thrusters work, which if you have to get thrusters specifically right to have it even like this. And I made the realization when I was doing a previous take for this, is that there's a little gap right here, which I'm not going to change as much as the perfectionist in my brain wants to, as I don't really see a reason to do that, as it's not a huge gap and I already did all this work. And I think it's fine, and in a way it kind of adds to it in a degree. But one of the most difficult parts about this whole thing was definitely the roundabout here, which overall I am very pleased with how this turned out. This took me like an extra hour just to get right, but god, it's so freaking worth it. It's just beautiful, man. I absolutely adore it. And it's, like I said, it's a good scenic route, like scenic thing, especially if you're looking over here. It just looks amazing, and I'm so glad that I did commit to this, because god, it's just a perfect addition to the base. And speaking of cool additions, we got Freddy's, which, by the way, was the shortest thing I added in this video. Like, when you make so many Freddy locations, you just come natural at it. It doesn't take you much time. It's something like 45 minutes to make. Not even counting gathering the like resources. So like, this is also, as I mentioned before, the place for my storage, which is pretty cool. All my chests are gonna be going here. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be epic, and it's gonna be an easy way for me just to be organized with all my materials inside the game mode. Then you got a cool Freddy stage, which who knows what I'm gonna use this for. I might make my own custom animatronics and hit the emotes. And then we go over here to our almighty location of Ace Chemicals, which, oh my god, Ace Chemicals was such a lot of fun to make. As I mentioned before, it's definitely a one-to-one like remake of the Minecraft build. It's a bit of a shorter build, but this build was also almost on the chopping block. I was definitely reconsidering for a minute, but I decided to commit to it, and I'm glad I did because I really liked how this turned out. The only thing that I kind of am iffy on is definitely the A, but besides that, I think it looks absolutely amazing. I think it's kind of funny how you have like the little like chimney right there. Not exactly a design like I was originally intending to go for, but this whole base kind of gives like everything is awesome vibes, and I just kind of go with it. And I think it looks great. Now, besides the actual build itself, not much is really going on in the interior on like Freddy's, but like pretty chill. I might come back to making an interior eventually. I just don't want to get to like max like memory complexity, because the build limit is definitely something you always have to worry about. And this area is not really being used for much besides like this whole thing here, but I'll definitely work on making an interior eventually. And overall, I'm actually very happy with all this turned out. And another fun little building tip for you guys, since I'm here, it's definitely like depth. I love adding like depth to builds like this. You can definitely see it with the Pokécenter, and I'll definitely mention some more in like the building tricks and video that I'm working on in the background slowly. That should be out either this or next week. But I'm very excited for that one. Now, the last thing that I did, which is something to be noted, is definitely I did a bit of like interior work on my abilities. Not much is really going here. I had like these cabinets for all my like weapons and stuff, which is pretty useful. So if I have like any excess weapons that I'm not currently using, I just like throw them in here, or just that kind of stuff, which is pretty nice. And then over here we have the workings of the fish and Ramlonfully. Well, yeah, that happens like sometimes in my videos. This is a recurring gag in this, like, on this channel. Nailed it. But yeah, that's basically everything that's new with the base. I summed out practically, oh my god, music! I know they're playing Fortnite music, but at the same time, I always have this like weird like fear that eventually you're just gonna start playing the stuff that I have like set, and then Imagine Dragons is gonna play out and over with like MeQ, Women Republic, and then like, oh my god, as much as I'm a huge fan of them, the copyright claims are gonna be beautiful. But overall, like, dude, this was a lot of fun to make, and an overall huge blast to put together. As I mentioned before, this whole base kind of gives like, to me, when I was like building this, the thing that kept on coming to my mind is stuff from like Minecraft creative mode. When I first started like building my like recurring like project worlds, like City was a world I created that had like a bunch of mismatched stuff. Yeah, like Fnaf world, which is like this giant like Freddy Pizzeria location, and you had like all this other stuff. And there's like, it just definitely gives like Minecraft creative vibes when I build stuff. But like, dude, I absolutely love the starter base, and I definitely can't wait to continue expanding upon it in the future. If you guys have any ideas for what you want to see added to the base, then let me know in the comments below, as I'd be very intrigued and interested to hear what you guys think. But yeah, with that being said, I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's very different than what I typically do. Not really, but overall, I had a lot of fun with this. It's definitely a bit like, hey, showcasing you guys a bit more of like how I build stuff, and overall it was definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this one, and if you did, definitely consider leaving a like, as it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new here and you really like what you're seeing so far, definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more Lego Fortnite content just like this. And yeah, with that being said, I do hope you guys did enjoy this one, and most of all, that you all have a spectacular day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone.